Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Clover. Today we're coming to you with a special guest on the topic of legacy. My guest today is a licensed provincial financial service representative, and her name is Sharifa Manning. Sharifa, welcome and thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me today, Clover. I really appreciate it.
So for Black History Month, as we reflect on events, reflect on places, and reflect on those who have helped to bring liberation to the Black culture, we just want to focus on legacy, because sometimes the uproar is on other things that have happened and no one's thinking about the legacy going forward. So as a financial planner, and you are talking finances to people everywhere, every day, how do you define legacy, looking back at what your foreparents have gone through and looking at today? How do you define legacy?
Clover, I spoke to my husband, a few weeks ago, and I asked him, I said, Babes, because I call him Babes. I said, Babes, what do you think legacy is? What does legacy mean to you? And my husband said, inheritance, money left behind, gifts left behind through a will. And I looked at him and I said, Babes, yes, I agree with all of that, but I think there's something much more deeper when it comes to legacy. And he kind of sat down there and I said, it's deeper than that. And Clover, when we ask what is the meaning of legacy, legacy comes from the Latin word or Latin verb, legare. Legare, which means to send to appoint by a last of will. So when I think about legacy, I think about practices that are handed down from past traditions. I think about long-lasting impacts of something someone did or an impact from an event experience that should be carried out throughout one's life. Legacy, Clover, is twofold. It's tangible and it's intangible. When we look at tangible legacy, we look at the physical, the money, the gifts, the property. When we look at the intangible legacies, we look at how to live, how to love, how to treat people. And some grandparents and a lot of grandparents left legacies that include humanitarian efforts, that their grandkids are carrying out, until this day. So for me, my grandmother, she didn't leave a tangible legacy for me as it pertains to leaving money or a gift or something in the physical, but my grandmother left an intangible legacy for all of us. And this is what you're seeing here today. She always said to us, charity begins at home and it goes abroad. And she left that with our entire family, the grandchildren, great-grandchildren. I see this playing out, today's date. And that is what legacy is to me, right? It's twofold, but I think the most important part of legacy is the intangible of what we're leaving for our generations to carry throughout life.
That's what I like, the intangible, because most people think of legacy, money and cars and that sort of thing. And no, you can even leave the legacy of health. Teach your family how to eat healthy. It doesn't have to go generation. Everyone's dying of diabetes and whatnot. Absolutely. But then you are carrying the torch where you are teaching financial literacy to people. How important is that? Tell me what you do in the financial field.
So in my financial field, and I'll talk a little bit about like what my legacy is. My legacy, I want to leave both tangible things for my children, which my kids are okay financially. I'm leaving I build a portfolio for them. I leave a legacy for my children, my grandchildren, my godchildren, and family and friends. And then the intangible is what I would say is living by example. Clover, impacting my spheres of influence, community-driven legacy. So my legacy and what I'm doing in the financial service industry, as you said, I am licensed with the province of Ontario, and I have the ability to help families with insurance, investments, and pensions. My firm, we're on a mission to educate 30 million people with financial literacy by the year 2030. My personal contribution to that is going to be 1 million people by 2030, as well as paying close attention to our community as it pertains to financial literacy when I'm looking at who I'm also helping as part of my my goals and my mission. And also my part of my for what I want to do is educate and help 100,000 women by 2030 to also do what I'm doing. Because as we know, the way that you want to empower a woman, we empower them financially. So with that, I do help families build their financial house to ensure that you're properly protected in the event of life or a critical illness, debt management, you have your savings set aside for emergencies, investments in place, and then I help families, individuals, and businesses protect all of that with a will and power of attorney in place.
Okay, that's very important. How is it going so far as you're trying to teach them to build their financial literacy?
Well, we have workshops. So we have workshops, Clover, that run Monday to Friday every week. They're at no cost to attendees. So anyone can attend at no cost. They're virtual, they're on Zoom, they're user-friendly. So it's very basic information that our grandparents or our parents did not teach us, or we didn't learn in school, or, you know, hanging out with our friends, we didn't learn these type of things, right? So for me, the financial literacy, I think that for our community, and I'm going to start going into some things right here, Clover, I think that our community has been impacted when it comes to financial literacy because we had the chains taken off of our hands and our feet, but it's still up here, right? They're still left on our brain. And some people really don't understand, Clover, that we are not free until we are financially free, right? We are bound if we do not have the financial literacy that is required to even, you know, to interact in our day-to-day interactions, right? Being financially free, what that does for us, we have to make it financially free. It helps us to make proper financial decisions. And when we make proper financial decisions, we then become financial literate. Financial literacy leads to good decisions, which is buying property, Clover, investments, savings, for example. And then those financial decisions will lead to financial legacy, right? So it's all a domino effect for us.
Okay. Yeah, financial literacy is such freedom, such freedom. How are your clients receiving it? Because you must have come upon some that never had a financial statement in place. How are they receiving it and knowing that even though I'm putting it in place, I should be leaving it for my son or daughter? Have you encountered those issues?
Oh, most definitely. A majority of clients, they don't had any financial literacy, right? So they come in not knowing anything, you know, basic concepts, not knowing. And that is what's unique with what my firm is doing, which is providing that financial literacy through workshops. We are at an advantage right now where the government is actually recognizing the lack of financial literacy, but we're in a place where our future generations will be able to access financial literacy. However, it's what are we doing for the past generations that never had it? So yes, I have a lot of clients that are coming in that don't even have the basic knowledge of even how to balance their finances, to budget, how to pay off debt through even something as simple as a debt snowball roll-up payment, right? So there are a lot of things, and these are the basic things that we're teaching in the workshops. So clients are coming in, they're getting access to these free workshops, and then it's like, Sharifa, please help me to get my financial portfolio, or to help me build my financial house. This is what clients are coming in. They're coming in without the financial literacy, but they're leaving with financial literacy. And that is one of my things, Clover, is that if you interact with me, you have to leave feeling changed and impacted, right? I'm doing this as a good steward, right? A good steward, and as part of my purpose and an ordainment in this life to help people with the things that I never had access to. And one of those things are financial literacy. And that is something that many people are struggling with, young and old.
Mm-hmm. I feel your energy, and I see how you're working hard, pushing financial literacy on everyone. But how do you reach your clients? I know you have a target set, but how do you reach them? Is it each one tell one?
Yeah, so I reach my client. There's many things I do. So being in the doing customer service and managing customer service for over 25 years in my head, I know about Net Promoter Score. Net Promoter is word of mouth, basically, right? So I promote myself or get clients through word of mouth, referrals, right? Sharifa, this is Sharifa. She's an advisor. I suggest you sit down with her also through social media. So really pushing myself through the social media, different social media handles, really getting myself out there, ensuring that every person that I meet, I have a conversation with them, because you cannot, perception is people's reality. But for me, looking at anyone, I will not judge a person or a thing before it's time. And I believe that a simple conversation with anyone that I come into contact with can open a door. I invite them to a workshop, or maybe they just come and meet with me at my office in Oshawa Mall in the Executive Towers. They can come and meet with me there. We have another office at Keelan 407. They could come and meet with me. I will go and meet other people. I am online sending blasts through, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, where people are reaching out to me. I had the opportunity to be on the radio on Sunday morning, as well as on TV. So those are the things, I'm getting my name out there, and then people are actually reaching out to me. So it's really that word of mouth and allowing people to know that there is access to services that are at no cost. What I do for clients, Clover, is at no cost to them to sit down with me, for me to help them build their financial house. Is at no cost, and our workshops are at no cost. So this is how we get, I get my clients, again, word of mouth, and really just putting myself out there and ensuring that I impact my spheres of influence by really touching base and talking to each person that I meet, by first of all greeting them, with a smile, and opening up conversation with each person.
How does it make you feel each day when you set out to do a workshop, knowing that you're going to be empowering someone?
I think for me, I go to bed thinking about what I can do, and I wake up thinking about it, because in life, I always knew that I would do the work and I would put in the work so that I can then bring people into the rooms. So it's so fulfilling. I always used to say, I remember when I went for interviews, people said, what is your success? How do you feel successful? And I said, I feel successful when I help develop people, and I help people and I see their success. Individual success is my success when I help them. So I just feel I'm so humbled and ecstatic at what I'm doing. And when I know that I'm impacting people and helping individuals change their lives, build generational wealth, break generational curses, right? And make changes in their life that is going to help them and their children's children. It's so gratifying that it's profound. There's no words that can explain the way that I feel and how I wake up every morning happy to do what I'm doing.
Yeah, it seems as if it's spreading like wildfire. Don't you think you should probably hold some virtual international workshops? How can you get to other countries? Have you tried that?
I have not tried getting to other countries. We do have like access to workshops, doing workshops in all of North America, including America. So I have started building my base in the USA as well. So that's one of the things that I'm doing. And then when I do invite people to the workshops that run Monday to Friday, what I do is I send it to everyone. I send it to family and friends overseas in the Caribbean. I send it to everyone, because financial literacy is not based on a country that you live in, right? There's principles and there's concepts that individuals should have, and you can carry throughout life with you. How to budget, how to manage your money, how to pay yourself first, right? Saving that 10%, giving, all of these different things. These are things that we can carry with us throughout life. So yes, on an international sphere, of course, I would love to get on, help people globally. And that's one of my alarms that I have on my phone, right? To impact, for my business to have a global impact. And that's what I want, right?
Great. So financial literacy is your legacy that you're leaving behind. At what point in life did it grasp you? I need to get this out to everyone because maybe they are not okay.
I think for me, I was working multiple jobs. I worked, I had good jobs, but I worked multiple jobs. I was always working on top of work. And I even was working inside of a bank as well. And when I attended one of the workshops, I was like, I thought I knew everything, but I didn't, and I don't. There were basic concepts that in the workshop, I was like, oh, how come I never learned this before? And I actually work in a financial institution. And at that point, it opened up my eyes. I believe that we should always be students. So for me, I'm forever learning and forever open to learning. And that's something that our community should always be open to. And I think that's what it was for me that, when you think you have it together, you don't. I can remember as a teenager, going to university, getting instant credit cards. I got approved for credit cards. I went and I swiped my card at all these different stores, but nobody told me about interest. They didn't tell me I had to pay for it. They didn't tell me how to pay for it. Nothing. I remember I called my dad and I was like, Daddy, all of these bills are coming in the mail. I don't know what to do. And my old Trinidadian father looked at me and he said, Sharifa, don't check the mail. Don't check the mailbox. Ignore it. Don't open the mail. And that is what he taught me. I remember that as a teenager, my dad saying that to me. And that is what he knew because he didn't have the financial, literacy. So for me, again, it was working at the bank and attending one of these workshops that I was invited to and seeing that the basic concepts of financial literacy, I didn't even know them. And at that point, I knew that I had to start from there. And knowing that I'm a person that wants to help people, I knew that I had to get my feet wet and get the education so I, in turn, can, as I said, impact my spheres of influence, impact everyone to help them with financial literacy. Because I knew that if I didn't know it, there are so many other people in this world that does not know it and does not have it.
So you learned the hard way by you falling into the trap. How does it make you feel now to know that you have the full understanding and you take control of your own money?
I think for me, I wish that I had this when I was a teenager. I wish even the saving aspect, a habit, if you're doing something for 21 days, they say becomes a habit. If I knew that, when you get paid, you pay yourself first. You take your 10% or your 20% and put it in your, tax-free savings account, high interest savings account first before spending. That would have made such a greater impact to my life as opposed to, you spend all this money, you pay your bills, you pay that, and then whatever is left over, you're like, okay, I'm going to save that. And then, you're like, oh, but I need juice or, I need to go out. So I'm going to go take that money to utilize it for those things. If I had that type of access, if I had that financial literacy from I was a teenager, or even a young adult, I have 6 children. I had my first son at a young age as a teenager. I was on my own at a young age as well. And I did not have access to those things. And knowing now that I have the access, I feel great, but I know that life would have been so much better for me if I had that literacy. But what I take from that, Clover, is that my past will be a testimony without the accompanying pain so that I can help people through resilience and through what I've experienced and help to empower people to step out and to take control of their financial literacy and their finances.
Have you sat your children down to teach them exactly what you know now?
Of course, I sat them down. I have them in the workshops, and there's an opportunity for them to even get involved in what I'm doing. I have one of my sons who's also studying to get his license as well. So that again is leaving legacies, right? Leaving a legacy. When I pass, my children will be able to carry on with my business and educating people. I have my children. I'm like, give me your friends' numbers. We're sitting down with your friends. Let me go over to your friends' house and have meetings with their family. So I've been getting out with my children, with my children's friends' parents, being welcomed into homes to do workshops with the children and to really help the kids even build their financial house from a young age.
That's so interesting. I just can just feel the energy. It's so much fun that's going on. And probably it can reward them and more people will be coming out. So after seeing everything that's been impacted, what can you tell others that are still sitting on the fence who should be planning financial literacy so that they can take advantage of it now and then leave to their children?
You know, Clover, there are many ways that, you know, we can be financial literate, right? Right now, technology helps us with that, right? People have information at the palm of their fingers, you know, and as I said, the good news is the government is recognizing the dilemma with financial literacy and really helping us out. You know, I say take a step out. I say that if you are comfortable and you're not feeling discomfort in what you're doing, then you will not have the opportunity to step forward. Discomfort, being uncomfortable and having discomfort in your life when you're making changes is what you will always want to feel. If you're feeling complacent, you're feeling comfortable, you know that you're not changing the trajectory in your life. So I want to encourage everyone to build a bridge from your presence to your future. There is enough abundance in this world for everyone. There is enough financial literacy in this world for everyone. At the end of the day, there's nothing negative that can come from us gaining financial literacy to better ourselves. You know, if you are on the fence and thinking like, where do I even start? Start with a simple workshop. You know, you have access to me. You can contact me. My phone number, my Instagram is I am Sharifa Manning. My phone number 289-939-3291. Contact me directly. Sit with me. I will help you build your financial house. I will give you access to workshops. I would say I beseech you at this time, you know, viewers, that people step out truly of the ordinary and into greatness to really make changes in their lives, because this is the only way that we can actually leave a legacy for our children and our children's children. So for those that are sitting on the fence, I encourage you, and I actually would say I challenge you to step out in an uncomfortable zone. And I promise you that if you have a gazelle focus and you see the light that is at the end of the tunnel without looking at you know, what is happening currently, we will be able to make changes. I promise you that you will not leave as the same way that you came when you meet with me or when you start to focus on financial literacy. So if you are nervous, if you are uncomfortable, that is the place to be, and that's the way that you want to feel. You want to feel this discomfort, and you want to just take that and utilize it to the best of your ability by attending workshops, asking questions, sitting down and meeting with me, and having me build that financial house for you.
Well said, Sharifa. And I can just see the topic for you. It's going to be the Mannings on financial literacy, a way to your future legacy.
Perfect. That. I need to definitely capture that there, Clover.
I will send it to you. It just flows in my mind as I spoke to you. So we'll wrap it up here, Sharifa. I just want to thank you for spreading the word on financial literacy. It's a way to the future. It's a legacy that we can leave for our children and our children, changing the trajectory for the next generation. Thank you so much. Okay.
You're welcome. And thank you for having me, Clover. I do appreciate, you know, this interview and this opportunity. And as I said, I am looking to not only impact the world, but there's a special calling for our people. And I have done the work to get myself in the rooms so that I in turn can bring our communities in the rooms, and I can help our communities. So let us work together to take the chains that have been removed off of our feet and our hands, but to take it off from here and to work together collectively, united as one, to change the trajectory in our lives and to build the bridge from our present to our future when it comes to financial literacy. Again, I am Sharifa Manning, and thank you so much for having me, Clover.
Thank you, Sharifa. And thank you all for watching. We have more episodes coming up on Legacy for Black History Month. Thank you. Bye for now.
Bye.